All right, welcome back to the Athens Film Festival 2025 Creator Interviews. Today I'm here with Rebecca Levy, director of the short film Still Life and music video Eyes, showing at the festival this August. Rebecca, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. I guess I'll just jump right in here though, especially for your music video. Sorry, excuse me. How did you meet the band? And how did that relationship evolve from music to, visual storytelling?
So the band, my partner is actually the drummer in the band, so I just knew them through like my own relationships and really enjoyed their music. They're based in Atlanta and I've seen them perform a couple times. They performed at the Masquerade and that was really cool. And I just thought given that I already had a relationship with the band, they'd be a great artist to make a music video for. And I really enjoyed the sound of their music. And so I set a meeting with the band as a whole and we discussed ideas and which song they would maybe want to do and what the song meant to them. And then I kind of went home and thought about my own ideas and visual styles and what I could present to them. It was a really fun process.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know, I can bet. It definitely shows. I was like, man, I wish I was an extra on this set. Some of my friends are there. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
it was fun. Church was
Yeah, speaking of church, did you kind of choose that location given that you saw them first at the Masquerade Atlanta? So you were like maybe looking for a similar kind of area?
I I kind of had always just wanted to film something in church. For anyone who's been there knows that it has a very distinct vibe and I some of my first inspirations for the music video was just me like going on Pinterest and looking for a distinct visual style and I really fell in love with like kind of like a punk 80s but like dystopian 80s
Mhm.
vibe that was like ambiguous time wise but had this very like, electric look and feel to it and the decor in church and just the atmosphere is so cool and I wanted it to feel like a character in itself and also just having gone there before just appreciating the space and being there in broad daylight when no one else is there is a very different vibe of that part. It was so cool and they were so wonderful. We got to like access all rooms in there. We had access to the stereo and like behind the bar. It was amazing.
My gosh, how fun. Yeah, I can definitely see that style. It's like it's not like direct classic 80s. It does have a bit of a spunk to it. What were some of the details in like styling for people? Did you just kind of say go wild or like how do you make it feel fresh instead of just like purely classic?
Yeah. So lots of Pinterest boards were made, and then I collaborated with a friend of mine, Chloe Lar, who is an actress too, and she's acted in some other films that I've done. She's the lead in Still Life,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
and yeah, she at the time was one of the leaders of UJ's SMA club, which is like this really
Mhm.
cool fashion organization. And so I knew I had this vision for it, but I wouldn't say I'm like an expert on fashion by any means. So, and it would have been way too much to do by myself. So I knew I wanted like a styling team. And so I reached out to her and she assembled a really amazing team of like four stylists. And then we had people doing hair and makeup. And it was this process it was a lot of like thrifting and finding really unique pieces. And in addition to what they already had, just to bring this vision to light. And like, I think I made a Pinterest board for each of the main characters and like what kind of style that I envisioned them having and then they just brought their own take on it and it was one of the most cool collaborative things. We had a whole like dressing and hair and makeup period before we started filming the bar scene and it was so cool. They just like did so amazing.
My gosh, yeah, no, I could tell. Everybody looks so fantastic. I mean, that attention to detail is something that definitely doesn't always get the attention it deserves. And that care was really awesome. And speaking of that visual awesomeness, I have to say I rewatched the film or the music video a couple days ago, and I think I missed it the first time, but there's the scene with the smoking lipstick.
Yeah.
That's such an amazing image. Was that just written in from the start, or is that something that like emerged organically during the shoot?
That was written in. So I was the editor of the project as well. I also like I have a background in art. I studied art at school as well. And so I just wanted it to be very visually striking. I might have also been an inspiration from Pinterest. Like I probably saw a picture of like someone smoking a lipstick and I was like, I need to do this in some way. But the script really was like a bullet point list of different visuals that I wanted and like vague movements to move the story through and then it just kind of came together in the edit room. Yeah, so I just like layered some smoke on it and yeah. I thought it was a cool image to have. So
It really was.
don't zoom in too closely and it won't be fantastic, but from afar it looks good.
It was amazing, and my glasses were on.
Thanks.
Rebecca, do you have experience doing music videos in the past, or was this your first one?
This was my first one and I really, really loved it. I a writer as well, so I love to write and direct, but it felt very freeing in that it was kind of like I was given a prompt and then I had like a
Mm.
direction to already go off of and just do as many visual things as I wanted with it. So it felt more of a visual art piece than like some of the other like my still life short film is more narrative and writing driven, I would say, but it was so cool and I want to do so many more and I'm planning to do some soon again, hopefully.
Oh
So
my god.
I love it. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, no, it's so awesome, and they seem so fun as well. So those were some amazing perks of it. Did you find any like unexpected challenges coming into a first music video? Like, I mean, you obviously don't have to deal with like sound people necessarily, but I don't know, I can't imagine like lip syncing. Was there anything that was like an unexpected, like, oh, okay, we have to innovate here?
Yeah, there was one thing that didn't quite work out, but in the beginning where it transitions to the kind of downtown scene, we have her walking in these cool shoes and leg warmers, and I wanted it to be like kind of a dolly shot, like following her through the city. And so we had the our AD Katie Ree, love her. She put on roller skates and like we tried to
Oh
push her with the camera forward on the roller skates to follow her through downtown Athens.
my
It wasn't
gosh.
the best. It wasn't the best solution to that. It didn't. We ended up just using a gimbal. So trial and error. But I think the main thing I've learned just of like what I would do differently next time is getting more coverage of like lip singing because in the edit I didn't have full coverage of the entire song, so it would be splicing together what I did have people singing with and then just other shots. And I think it forced me to be more creative in the edit, which ended up being a good thing. But I would give myself longer shots of people singing for the future, but it worked out.
Awesome. It absolutely did. No, that's such a fun memory though, of just like being pushed on roller skates.
It was great.
We love to innovate. All right. Well, I think we should maybe shift a little bit to talking about still life. Still life has a very, different kind of vibe being not a music video, and I think it deals with probably more serious subject matter on a level. It definitely felt like it was an allegory for creative struggle and burnout, especially with like a mental health kind of element to it. That is that kind of the interpretation you wanted us to have?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've shown it to several different people, and different people have kind of ascribed their own version of like what's wrong with her. And I think I like that it's open to you can, copy and paste whatever resonates most with you as a viewer to like why she's struggling. But it definitely is just a struggling to get through and dealing with depression and mental health. And like you said, creative burnout, especially trying to create art, is everyone has a different process. And a lot of times it comes from places of pain, I guess, or just and then having to find the motivation to do it through whatever you're going through. I just wanted to capture that, and also something that I've dealt with, like as an artist, I guess, just
Yeah.
self sabotage in some ways. I wanted to capture that because she made something, and then all her decisions or failure to be able to do certain things that or live certain ways that she'd like to resulted in the her own art being destroyed. So I wanted to capture that kind of feeling of self-sabotage and hatred, but then also that own negative feeling, being able to create something else new.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that resonates for all of us in the creative industry. Absolutely, like, oh my gosh, the ramen felt very relatable too. But do you think
Questions.
embracing kind of the like mistakes almost and at times self-sabotaging moments are necessary for making honest art? Or, is it just like if we perfect the process and we get the most maximized, oh my cat, sorry,
Yeah, you're good.
product and efficiency, that is, oh my gosh, my cat, sorry, that should be the process instead.
Yeah, I think definitely embracing the imperfections is what people will always relate to. And I think there's definitely a place for stories that are just like escapism and, happiness or surface level emotions. I love a good cheesy rom com. I love all those surface level medias. I'm currently watching Love Island, but I think also there's a need for media to be more honest with like realistic optimism and showing the imperfections and like what real not like there's real struggles shown, but also just like the subtle everyday things that people deal with and like how you get through life every day and like the small struggles that might build up. I think I personally would like to see more realistic struggles and realistic subtle optimism in movies that aren't like big romantic gestures and stuff like that. I love realism in film, and that's what I tried to capture, just like a little bit of that from inspired by some of my own experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, also with that, how do you balance, I think, over romanticizing it versus showing it in that realistic kind of way, but also wanting to keep your touch as an artist making the film?
Yeah, I think that's a struggle because you still want it to be, beautiful. And I think that it's finding how to make those mundane or everyday emotions, whether it's negative or positive, beautiful in their own right for what they are versus making it something it's not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a movie that I think does a great job of that is like Eighth Grade is so like
Oh yeah.
awkward and realistic, but it's still like very emotional and it's still shot beautifully. I think it's a balance of using art to show emotion but not abstract the reality of what's happening. But it's still like an ongoing thing I'm trying to figure out, I think, because I that's what I would like to do in my future projects, and figuring out that balance is a goal of mine.
Oh my gosh, that's so like true and poignant. Absolutely. Well, I think you really were acing it in this film. Absolutely. I guess I'll also ask about when you're working across, two different mediums here with music video and narrative film, do you feel like they feed into each other creatively or they live in completely different like mind spaces for you?
There's definitely some overlap just in the way that production happens. And also, I think more overlap in terms of cinematography and like creating a shot list of how do I want to convey this visually. The music video is definitely more like it's all like how do I want to convey this visually because the sound and like the roots of it are already set in stone. I think for me, the short film or feature, just like narrative content, it more allows me to tell personal stories and like tell new stories from my point of view. And then with music videos, it's kind of just like liberating as like a visual art form. It's like, there's painting that I've done and stuff, but this is like the canvas is the screen and the edit and the cinematography. And that is very freeing that, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be about these subliminal messages about like life and struggle. It's just like, how do I make something look really cool and fun and have a good time with it and can still convey what the song is trying to convey? So I would say for me, the narrative content is more maybe meaningful on like a personal storytelling level, but the music videos are just so fun like to do and just so like artistically freeing that they're pretty different, but I love both in different ways.
No, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I asked this question to pretty much everybody, but this will be the first one that has a music video kind of, in the mix here. But I
Mm.
kind of asked for like a letterboxed four of some movies people could watch, or music videos in this case, leading up to seeing your work, or after if they want a taste of more kind of slash what were your inspirations. You mentioned eighth grade. I was wondering if you could continue
Mhm.
on, give us like maybe two for still life and two for eyes.
Yeah, still life. It's hard because it's such a contained story that's like all takes place basically in my bedroom. So, but I would say style and vibe that I was trying to go for and I'm still trying to capture in future work. For still life, definitely eighth grade. I like to have some awkwardness in there and realism. I really also like movies like The Florida Project, which again shows realism and like a distinct sense of place. And then one filmmaker that I've been recently getting into is Miranda July, and she has a movie called Me and You and Everyone We Know. And that one is also just like a kind of slice of life of what people are doing. And it's still like funny and weird, but very honest. And that's what I was trying to do with that. For eyes, distinct style. This is going to be a strange comp. It's not really a comp, but I just like, my mind is kind of going to when I was watching Arcane because art
Mhm.
style of that is so like visually striking, and there's so many colors, and it is kind of a dystopian world.
I can see that.
You haven't seen it?
No, I can see that like with the
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
very bright like
Yeah,
purples, pinks, and blues. I can kind of get what
very
you're
different like stories. Like story-wise has nothing to do with it, but visually that's such an inspirational project. And then music videos, I really love an artist called Mannequin Pussy, and I've been watching her music videos and I've been really loving them. But yeah, I'm trying to get more into different types of music videos as well, but that's just some I've been exploring lately.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Pinterest
thank
Pinterest really carried me with the inspiration for that project.
we'll say one of the letterbox for was Pinterest in and of itself.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Goodness.
Best movie.
No. I know, I love that. I'll have some good recommendations to go home to with that.
Yeah.
But back to, I guess, more personal stories. Do you have any advice, especially that you've learned over the course of filming still life, for artists that want to tell personal stories, especially in like, realistic or, maybe experimental ways about wrestling with anxiety, depression, or creative self-doubt, something in that vein?
Yeah, I would say like to qualify, it's still something that I'm figuring out and exploring, and I definitely don't have the it all cracked at all. But I think just not being afraid to write like the uglier parts of yourself because the likelihood is other people have experienced that and that'll resonate with people and just being honest. Like I feel like it's very easy to tell in film, especially student film, when like things aren't really being real or things are being made just to be made, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So just not being
absolutely.
afraid to like no matter how you think you'd come off to just be honest and vulnerable. And then I would say lean on your peers or your family or whoever you trust to like give it a read over because there were times where I was writing and I had someone tell me like I don't think you're going deep enough. Like there's still something here that I feel like you're not saying. And I'm trying to work on that with my next projects too. So just not being afraid to be vulnerable and lean on your friends. I would also just say in general on like sets, just be a nice person, a helpful person, and people want to work with you and work with your friends. It's so fun.
Yay. No, that's so true. And especially just about like some people I feel, yeah, could just be saying something to say something. So you have to be very convicted in the things that you do want to put out there. Is it
Mhm.
scary at all though? Like, I mean, obviously it's a bit of vulnerability. Is it scary not only making it, but like I know you've also submitted this film clearly to our film festival and probably others. I mean, how is that process? Like it's like putting a part of yourself out there and it's like, accepting whatever is going to come your way. Isn't that scary?
Yeah, for sure. I find it's easier for me to show it to like my friends in the film world because we're all, doing this and trying to like put a part of ourselves into art that we're making. It's
Yeah.
been a little more uncomfortable for me to show it to like other friends and family because I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what you think of this." And it's also like people in the film world know that it's really hard to make something, so it's
Yeah.
they give it a little more grace, I think. But it's just been something to get over. Like at the end of the day, putting yourself out there, trying to just block out like I'm not great at this, but just trying not to care what anyone else thinks and knowing that people who don't like something cannot like something and that's okay. And people who like it will find you. And that's just yeah, a continuing thing I'm striving towards.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I feel like you have definitely found that community if you have those people around you, like affirming, like, we know how much this took just from you in terms of work, but also in terms of like, personal divulging. Absolutely. I mean, okay, going off of like, uncomfortable kind of raw moments there, looking back at both of these projects, what moment are you most proud of? Is there any, moment on set or writing, editing that you were like, okay, yeah, we got it?
Yeah, I think with editing, it's funny. I'm always like, "Oh, this is a disaster," until like the last cut. I'm like, "Okay, no, it's coming together." And I always need to remind myself in the edit room that like, "Okay, it'll get worse before it gets better, but it will get better." I think the most proud moment for me always is just on set getting to make it with people that I really like and have fun with and seeing other people have fun. Like the set at church was so fun. Like we were just blasting music on the speakers and like Katie Ree was pretending to be the bartender with like the bar soda machine, whatever. Um, and we were all just like working efficiently, but also just having so much fun. And I think that is something that maybe people take for granted with student film and that I'll definitely miss is that the stakes are so low, kind of. Obviously, maybe less so when you're the creator, because I'm also very much perfectionist. So I wanted it to be really good, but it was also just like, we're all, none of us are paid. We have no money to do this. We're just really having a fun time and doing this because we want to learn and we like each other. And it was just really fun to be on set with friends.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I haven't worked on set with you personally, but having worked with you in some sort of capacity, I can say that I'm gonna like, talk you up to the audience here. I
Yeah.
That is a philosophy that you really do hold to, like, keeping a good environment does make the art feel, I don't know, more authentic, more joyful at times, easier to do at the very least.
Yeah.
No, and like I think we need more directors like that.
Yeah. I mean, until we're given like $6 million budgets, it's not that serious. Right now, at least. My budget, the music video budget was $300, and that went into securing church. Still life was
Yeah.
like $100. Just
And 99 cents at least went to a ramen packet.
oh yes. It took me a long time to eat ramen after that. It was in my carpet, it was in my fingernails.
Yeah,
Foul.
how many takes did you do of that actually?
So
I'm
many,
curious.
so many. We kept like re-microwaving the same bowl of ramen, and it started to like, congeal and get so disgusting, so bad.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Goodness. I feel
yeah,
like you have like a cute onset memory. It's pushing the roller skates and then it's like the ramen soup.
yeah, yeah. Gross.
My goodness. Well, Rebecca, as we wrap up here, you've been amazing and we love seeing what you have done and we can't wait to see what you do. What kind of stories do you want to tell next? What do you feel like you're still figuring out about yourself as a director and you want to explore maybe?
Yeah, I'm working on a new project currently. I've been trying to really think about what I love coming of age stories, and I know there's a bunch, but I think they're all different in their own ways. But I want to explore coming of age and like dealing with everything that's going on in society now, especially like what it is like and what it was like and what it continues to be like to grow up in an age of like the age of the internet and how there's so much like disillusionment from what life is expected to be like on screen and what what life is like on screen versus just living life in reality and the like juxtaposition of that and what it does to people, especially young people growing up with expectations of what their life will be and what they have seen in movies and TV and the internet versus having to actually just live it. So that's what I'm kind of trying to explore in what I'm writing now, which is a story about a girl growing up, coming of age, working at a grocery store with that kind of backdrop. I also am excited to continue to share stories of like a female perspective, especially in the South. I think the South is like misrepresented in a lot of ways sometimes in media, and there's such a like diverse place and there's so many different stories here that I would love to tell. So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. But going forward, I just, some of my inspirations are like Guillermo del Toro, and nothing of what I said is really his style. But I also just, I feel like with film, anything is possible. It's like a magical medium. So I'm
Absolutely.
open to just continuing to grow and explore and make stories.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Where can the people find more about you and your projects as we, look forward to those coming up?
Yeah. I have a website. It's Rebecca, REBECCA, Levy, Levy.com. You can also find me on Instagram, some variation of Rebecca Levy. I also have a small art account on there that's Rebecca, Rebartka,
I love
REBRT.
it.
CCA, I think. Yeah, find me wherever.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me today. We can't wait to see you at the festival. For
Yes, I'm
everyone
so
watching, come see Still Life and Eyes at the festival this August from the 14th to the 17th. Tickets are on sale now at athensfilm.com, and we'll have to go visit your Rebarca account.
yes.
All
Yes.
right. Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you so,
much.
so much. All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.